Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. It's all about you, remember? So you can find us on television, Channel 182 Charter Communications, Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. We are syndicated there. You can also find us on all the social media sites, facebook.com/DFiesel. If you want to see all the reruns, all you have to do is type in my name, Donna Fiesel, and whoever the guest was that particular day that you're looking for, you'll be able to pull them up from years past. We are celebrating 20 years being on the air, and definitely appreciate each and every one of you for making this happen. You are the best, and I tell people about that all the time. We wanted to be talking about the tech world right now, and I found something really interesting right here. It's called web safe browsing practices. When you think you know it all in the tech world, things change on a dime. I mean, things can change within just a few hours. So I've got the most updated information for you right here. And I hope this helps you out in the browsing world, because a lot of us can get into trouble if you don't know all those pitfalls and all those things that you can actually do to make life a lot easier. You know, when I started out with GTE Cellular One back in the day, back in the 1980s, it was worked with them for quite a few years, handling their government and corporate accounts. And, you know, the sales job at that time was communication. Is going to make it a lot easier for communication. You're going to have a lot more free time, but what we've actually done is packed in more work time. So we have to really be careful of that we don't burn ourselves out. So let's talk about this for a few minutes. And I found this website. I go to this frequently, itondemand.com. That's itondemand.com. And you'll be able to pull this up. Number one, they say, okay, and I believe this, use the trusted and updated web browser. It needs to be updated. Modern browsers have built-in security features that can protect you from malicious websites. Not doing can put your data at risk. Let me tell you something that's happened to me a few times. So I've do a lot of research out there for you guys, for the shows. And sometimes I can pull up a website and it may pull up this alert. It says alert. And it says, you know, a malicious website. And then what they're trying to get you to do is buy something that will take away all of the grud that comes with the internet. The best thing to do, use the little X mark, get out of that website, because what you're going to wind up doing is you're going to create so much spam in your inbox, you won't be able to get rid of it. So immediately go ahead and X out, get out of that browser. You want to go ahead and turn the phone. I'm not talking about just updating, especially if it starts updating, by the way. You want to go ahead and just turn the off button. You want the power button off immediately. Don't even take the time to take it down. You know, I hound this all the time. I say, no, you should always power cycle all the way down. But this is one case you want to go ahead and immediately turn the power off on your computer. And then what you want to do is wait just a few seconds, turn the power back on again, and then get out again. This way you want to do it the right way. You want to go ahead and completely close out the browser, close off the internet, close down the power, leave it off for about 5 minutes and turn it back on again. If you will do that, you're going to save yourself hours of deleting useless spam messages, and it attaches to everything, by the way, on your computer. So when you get on Facebook or any of your other social media sites, you'll start getting ads. So just be super careful. Again, use a trusted web browser. Enable a pop-up blocker to minimize distractions and potential threats. Some pop-ups contain malicious software or phishing attempts. Now, blocker just adds an extra layer of protection. Okay, now this is a biggie right here. Okay, always look for HTTPS. Make sure it has an S, and not just HTTP, HTTPS // in the URL before entering sensitive information. The S indicates a secure connection, meaning that the data is encrypted before being sent out. Now, this brings another thing, okay? So when you are on your Facebook page, or if you are on your email page, especially email, you may get something that says it's from a trusted bank, it's from your bank, and it may look so official. Never click on those links, okay? Because you're going to, possibility you're going to get into trouble. Best thing to do, delete that message immediately. Delete it. And then you want to go to your trusted website. So let's just say you use ABC Bank. I'm just making one up. So let's just say you use abcbank.com, but the email has a link and you can kind of put the little finger, the little arrow on that, and it'll show you what that website is. If it's not your particular bank, the full website, and it doesn't say HTTPS, it's going to be a fraud. Okay, best thing to do is just wipe out all of that. Go to your bank, call them, do whatever you need to do, and just ask them if there is an issue with the bank. Quickest thing to do. I know you got to look up the numbers nowadays. They don't really throw it out there on the websites anymore, but please do. Okay, and this is a good one too. Clear. All of these are great. Clear cookies and browsing history appear every once in a blue moon. Now that adds protection to your privacy and minimizes the risk of a cyber attack, leveraging stored data to gain unauthorized access. And this is especially true to your banking and maybe to your credit card information that may be on your. And I'm going to say something else. Okay. I know this is a hassle. A lot of you want to store those username and passwords. Don't do that, just in case you get hacked by some kind of malware somewhere. I type mine in every single time. Every morning I check banking, I check credit card, I check all of that stuff just to make sure somebody hasn't been into my account. Best thing to do, always the policy. And it'll help you to remember too, by the way. It's good for the memory. Going ahead and type in that username and password to your bank. So if you use ABC Bank, manually type in the username and password. And this is something that it's kind of a Donna thing. I kind of have an issue with this. I worry about it because sometimes your browser will say, do you want to save the password to this browser? I personally don't do that. I have issues with that. What if someone puts malware on my computer and they're able to figure it out? Because I'm just telling you, once something is taken care of and you think, oh, well, that's not going to happen to me again. Somebody is in their basement, somewhere's in another country somewhere, and they're trying to figure out a way to bypass whatever the new deal is to help save your hide. So be really, really careful there. Okay, let's see. When browsing the web using Cogno, I've done that, or private browsing modes to keep your activities confidential. Okay, this is especially crucial when you're using public computers. It may prevent the storage, as it does prevent the storage of personal information. If you're using a friend's computer, just remember to always, I trust my friends, absolutely, but just in case, let's say you're on a trip and you're visiting with a friend and you forgot to bring your laptop or your cell phone, make sure you log out. Let's say you're checking your banking information, or if you're like the library, a lot of people just go to the library and use their internet services and do all the data research, especially you young folks out there going to college. So make sure you totally log out of all of that information before you leave. Okay, now stay away from torrenting or using peer-to-peer networks for copyrighted material. Now, these platforms are often targeted for spreading malware and can expose you to legal repercussions. A lot of people now are using AI to write books. Be really, really careful about that as well. You got to think about copyrighted, okay? Avoid clicking on clickbait or sensational headlines. You see that? How many times has Willie Nelson died? Okay, on Facebook, and you click on it thinking, "Oh, Willie Nelson died," or some movie star or someone of credibility, and so you click on it, and then all of a sudden you start getting these crazy ads. Yeah, it's just to get you to buy something that you probably don't need. These can lead to malicious websites that aim to compromise your security or your privacy. Now, double check the authenticity of plugins or extensions before installing them. So poorly designed or malicious add-ons can expose you to various threats. Just be super, super careful. Let's go into a commercial break. We'll return in just a minute. Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at TwinCityUsedCars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer
yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
Because of your overwhelming support, our 1488 MyPillow has been one of the biggest sales in MyPillow history. I couldn't think of a better way to say thank you than to extend our wholesale pricing through Christmas. Get a classic standard MyPillow for only $14.88. Upgrade to a queen size, just $18.88. King size, only $1 more. Get my body pillows for only $29.88. And ready? Multi-use MyPillows, only $9.88. It's perfect time to stock up for Christmas gifts for everyone on your list. Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our wholesale pricing. Including my classic standard MyPillow is only $14.88. But that's not all. I'm so confident you're going to love our classic MyPillows that I'm going to extend my 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025. Plus, orders over $75 ship absolutely free.
The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462. Okay, we're back. My name is Donna, and I am your host of Donna's Age Talk Show, where truth matters. We're talking about how to keep you safe and secure on the internet. And it's okay to browse. It's okay to get on the internet. Big important. I think the biggest takeaway right now is when you are online somewhere, make sure that up in the address that the indication for the website is HTTPS. Just make sure there's a S on it. That way you know you've got some good security there. Okay, now what I want you to think about right now is keeping an eye out for fake Wi-Fi networks. They're out there, especially in public places. So connecting to these networks can put your personal information at risk. Always verify the network name in security settings. So I have a friend who told me, now she's like me, she likes to save every dime she can, but now I do have a draw, some things I won't do. So she told me that when she's out in public, she said, just whatever I see, I check a network that's available. And sometimes they don't have a password on them, so I'm using somebody else's network. And I said, you are a sucker. And so let me tell you why you're a sucker. They're doing this on purpose so that you'll get on their network. Odds are that somebody's going to try to see what you got on your cell phone or on your laptop. Never do that. Only go to somebody's network if there's a password on it. And you still have to be careful sometimes in restaurants, because there are people who run around with their cell phone and they have something connected that can keep up with every single thing you're doing. And another thing is just plain old people passing by looking over your head at your laptop to see what, if you're pulling up your banking information, just don't do it in public. Okay, now this is a good one right here too. Utilize an ad blocker to minimize exposure to potentially harmful ads. Some ads can execute scripts that compromise your system's security. I want you to be, and I'm not trying to scare you to death. I'm just giving you all of these great ideas for keeping you safe, because you work hard for your money. You have. And I just don't want to see you lose it all because some flaky nut wants to take what you've got. Limit the use of autofill features for passwords and personal information. Now, while it's convenient, cyber criminals can exploit these features to steal your data. When it comes to passwords, and we've talked about this before, when it comes to passwords, don't use personal information. As a matter of fact, on your social media sites, whether it be Facebook or whatever you use for social media, I would not use anything. I wouldn't even put dates out there. A lot of people I know have kids and grandkids don't put the names of their kids and grandkids out there. That's a pretty good idea, especially if you are prone to use your grandchild's name in part of your password. Be careful about putting birth dates out there, and because people can use that, because a lot of people actually use their birth date for a password. So if it's something that's kind of easy, I'll tell you, for a password, something that's really easy to do. So let's just use the word password. By the way, never use the word password for password, okay? Too many people do that, and they've been scammed because they did that. A lot of, say, your bank's credit card, anything that would ask for a password, even if somewhere you shop, credit cards, that kind of thing, they will say have at least one cap. And also, have at least a number, and have just something kind of like an exclamation mark or something like that on there. And a lot of people do. I would mix that up. I would mix that word up. And a lot of people, let's say, you have to have a cap. A lot of people would capitalize the P for password. Never do that. Don't do the cap. Or if you do use the P as a cap, somewhere else in ASSWORD, somewhere else in there, just choose another cap. So maybe a capital P, lowercase ASS. Don't do the word W, because that's another word. Don't do the W. Maybe capitalize the O, and then the R, and then maybe capitalize the D. I would have at least 3 words that are capitalized. It's just going to make it harder for a scammer to try to figure out what your password is. If you use numbers, a lot of people just use 1. Don't use the number 1. Think of something else. Okay. Make it hard. Make people have to work for taking your information. Okay. And you're worth it. You are definitely worth it. Okay. Let's see. That's autofill. Now, don't save your payment details on websites unless it's necessary to do so. Storing this information online makes you more vulnerable. If the company you purchase from has a data breach. I've often thought about how many times have you heard that some big company, Walmart or someone, has had a data breach, and your information is stored on their website when you are paying your bills or you're paying your credit card or whatever. Just don't do that. just don't completely log out. Don't save that. It is convenient, but always do that. And always completely log out of websites, especially on computer shared or public networks. Failing to log out can give the next user access to your accounts and personal information. I know someone who did that. She was flying out on a business trip. This happened a few years ago. And she was in a hurry to check her bank account just to make sure she had enough money because there was something she wanted to purchase while she was at her destination. And so she checked it. She was on a public computer out there. She didn't log out. And guess what? The next person out there pulled up her bank. They were watching. There's a lot of traffic at an airport. And so the next person saw her get up. They went right over there and they got her information. Ooh, boy, that was a mess. She finally got it straightened out. And by the way, if you're buying something online, I never use my debit card. I always use a credit card. It's much quicker to get your money back in the bank if you use a credit card versus your debit card. Debit cards just take a little bit longer. Okay, now turn on the do not track features on your web browser settings. While not foolproof, this can reduce the data third-party that websites collect from you. You know, like when you're thinking about buying a loaf of bread, and then all of a sudden you're getting all kinds of commercials and on your web, on your computer, on your social web media, also on your emails, whatever. You're getting all kinds of advertisements for bread. That's why you got to really, really be careful with that. Okay, let's talk about tech tips for safeguarding your privacy. Okay, now use a virtual private network that's called a VPN to encrypt your data when browsing on public Wi-Fi. Okay, go to the hotel and you use their computer and use their network. Totally log out. As a matter of fact, it makes me nervous to use a hotel's VPN. It just makes me really nervous. Now, that makes it much more difficult if you are very careful, encrypt your data, more difficult for third parties to intercept your information. So choose a VPN service with a strong reputation for security and privacy. Now, always log out of accounts when you're done using them. We talked about that just a minute ago. But a little bit more insight about that is especially on public or shared computers. This prevents others from gaining easy access to your personal information. Now, some platforms offer automatic logout systems and settings that could be enabled for added security. Be cautious when granting permission to apps and websites. Let's say your child goes to college, okay, and you let them use your credit card for some reason or another, and you give them the username and password. Really careful about that too. I would go ahead and change it, not because you don't trust your child, it's because maybe they have a roommate who may not be on the up and up, okay? They've just met this person as a roommate. You don't know anything about them. So I would just say as extra security, change your password, okay, even if you give it to your child in college. Many people request access data they don't necessarily need for their role. So reviewing app permissions can also be vital for a good incident response plan. Use two-factor authentication. It's called 2FA for critical accounts like your email, banking, and social media. Now, 2FA requires a second form of identification beyond just the password. That could be a text message, a mobile app, or a hardware token. So let me tell you something that happened over the weekend. I have a very good friend. And so we're Facebook friends. We share everything. And so there was an odd message that came up on Facebook Messenger. And it said, "Donna, give me a call right away." And she said, "I need your telephone number." Well, she already has my telephone number. So I got a little bit suspicious about that. Then a text message came up. And I got suspicious about that from her. Then I just got on her Facebook page and I thought, well, something's up. That just doesn't sound like her. Before then, she tried to do, on Instant Messenger, she tried to do a video call. To me, it looked like a picture that was being moved around. It didn't look like her. You know what I mean? It was like, be really careful about this because people are just trying all kinds of scams. So let's pretend my hand is her picture. It's like, there was no emotion. She wasn't talking, no nothing. They were talking, but they were moving the picture around. Then I got really suspicious. So then I just went on her website and I saw where she's selling vacation homes. She's selling like Ray-Ban sunglasses. Totally out of her character. That would not be her at all. So I used her telephone number and I called her. And I said, "I think somebody's trying to scam you." She said, "Yeah, I'm working on that right now." So just be really careful because the scammers are coming out with new stuff all the time. Okay, let's see. Keep your social media profiles private. and selective with friend requests and followers. Now, sharing too much information, personal information online can make you a target for cyber criminals. So periodically review the private settings on all of your platforms. You need to make sure you do that. Be careful again. If you want to put your birth date out there so we can all wish you a happy birthday, that's great. Just don't put the year you were born, okay? Because that can make it, or make up a date. Some of my friends have done that. Maybe the day before, the day after, or the next week. Just so they get a birthday greeting, they don't really care what day it is. And I think that's a pretty smart thing to do. Never store sensitive information like your passwords or your credit card details in plain text. Use encrypted digital vaults or password managers to keep such data secure. Some even allow for biometric verification for extra security. Isn't it so aggravating we're having to do all this stuff now? But you have to. Be mindful of your digital footprint. Once something is posted online, it's almost impossible to remove it entirely. Even deleted posts can be archived or screenshotted. Okay, so I have a sister who needs help. And so she puts something on Facebook. And what she's bad at doing is putting something on Facebook. Then my friends will send me whatever. They'll screenshot it and send it to me. And then she takes it off. I think her husband or kids probably say that's probably wasn't a real smart thing to do. When someone, and I have several screenshots of crazy stuff she's put up there about me on Facebook. And once it's screenshot, it's forever. I don't care if you try to take it off your social media site. Somebody ever screenshots a picture of things you've posted, it's forever. Even if they've blocked you, like my sister's blocked me. So even if they have blocked you, I have friends out there, they look out after me. And so I'm still getting those crazy messages, things that she's putting out there. Just for all you fraudsters out there, you put it out there, you're trying to destroy somebody does a screenshot, it's forever. Okay, disable tracking and location services when not needed. That's a good idea. Many apps and websites track your location for various reasons, including advertising. So limit location access to your device settings. And I'll have to tell you something else that does. If you do use those location settings all the time, it burns the daylights out of your battery. In other words, where your battery had been working like you've been able to use it all day, you think you're having a problem with a battery, you go buy one. It's because it's using up so much of that battery access. And then you bought a battery for nothing. And then you say, well, batteries just don't last like they used to. It's because you've got location services on and it's constantly beeping. It's on all the time on you and just uses the heck out of that battery. So be really careful doing that. I think I've got time for one more. Be wary of public charging stations. Juice jacking, I call it juice jacking, is a method of stealing data through USB charging ports. And if you must use them, turn off the data transfer settings on your device and use encrypted messages apps for sensitive conversations. Now, these apps secure text, calls, and file transfers from prying eyes. Popular options include Signal and WhatsApp. Just be really careful out there. Be very vigilant because, again, there are scammers out there who want to destroy you and they want to destroy your reputation and they also want to destroy your finances. If you hear a rumor from someone, don't listen. Odds are it's been manufactured from an enemy. So be really careful of that out there. And be careful what you put on Facebook. If you're putting stuff on Facebook about other people, because once it's a screenshot there, it's forever. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this has helped you out, give you a little bit more information. We'll continue with our ideas. And as they come available, more ideas for you to keep yourself safe and away from cyber criminals and your pocketbook. Again, thank you so much for watching Donna's Edge Talk Show. Continue sending emails, Donna@Donna'sEdge.com. That's Donna@Donna'sEdge.com. Thanks for watching.